Hello and happy Tuesday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, but it might not be Tuesday when you watch it. This is a second part of the Cultivating Confidence workshop for the students who are in the Senior Success Program. And I call it the Senior Success Program, but now it kind of sounds like old people, like senior citizens, whereas I initially named it that because you were seniors in high school, but you have since graduated. Congratulations. And you are not seniors anymore. You're back to being freshmen again. So maybe we rename it to something that's a little more sustainable. So if you think of any names, send me the name. Okay, so this is going to be part two of the confidence workshop, which we did before. And I want to just get on with the second part. This part will be a lot shorter. We're going to pick up where we left off last time and then do the rest of this piece. And again, I want you to respond to the questions. There's only 4 questions. You can respond to the questions. It takes just a couple of minutes. It doesn't have to be like a paragraphs long. You know, you don't have to write a dissertation like you're graduating with your master's degree from college. Just a couple of sentences, or maybe even one sentence for each question, just as a way to check in that you in fact watched the video, which is your workshop, right? And that you were able to internalize some of the information, because it's great to get all the information in the world, but if we're not thinking about how it can personally relate to us and impact our lives, then we're really not doing anything with it. So I don't want to just plant the seeds. I want you to water them, right? So I'm going to share my screen. Zon, 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 zon. And then, yes, play from here. So this is kind of where we left off with the realization of one's own potential and self-confidence in one's ability. One can build a better world. And this statement from the Dalai Lama is talking about the world in general, but he is also talking about the world that lives within you and around you, because everything on the planet starts with each individual person. So talking about confidence and the necessity for that, which we covered in the last video, this is why it's important that we do that better world here, so we can have a better world here, so that we can have a better world globally, right? All right, so this is just a recap of where we left off last time. Building self-confidence with yourself, paying attention to what you pay attention to, music and movies, magazines and books, social media and conversations, being aware of where you're putting your time and energy and how that's impacting you and your self-confidence. Know your own strengths and weaknesses. And the reason why this is important is because, again, we want to keep fostering and building our own strengths. And then we want to be aware of our weaknesses so that we can see where we miss it, when and if we do. And hopefully to get to a point where you can ask other people to do the things that you don't necessarily enjoy doing and pass those things off, rather than beat yourself up because you have weaknesses, which everyone does. And they're not necessarily even weaknesses. I just couldn't think of a better word. It's just the things that aren't your strengths. We all have strengths. And so the opposite of that is weakness, right? But if we want to spend more time focusing on our strengths. And now keep in mind that also means that if you have weaknesses, meaning you need to get better at communicating, that is definitely a weakness you want to pay attention to, because it's going to have impacts in every area of your life, right? All right, the third thing was to learn how to celebrate yourself. This is also really important when this week we're talking about overwhelm. And when you're dealing with being overwhelmed or frustrated, a lot of times what happens is we, one, let the weight of the things that we have to do crush us, because we create this mindset that we have to do it all right now, or that it all has a deadline immediately, if not sooner, which isn't real, right? We're one person and we can really only productively do one thing at a time. So when you do that one thing, get used to celebrating yourself. This is important, again, because then we're not looking for other people to celebrate us or to approve of us or to compliment us. Like, I'm gonna celebrate myself, go me, right? I approve of me. I did the best I could, and tomorrow might be even better because now I have a little more knowledge than I did yesterday. And I'm gonna compliment myself. I own a mirror. Thank you very much. Hey. So make sure that you're taking time to celebrate yourself in small ways. And initially, when people first start doing this, it feels really uncomfortable because they're just not used to celebrating themselves, and it's not something that's commonly taught. So at first, it could be a little high five, like nobody's looking. Maybe you do a little dance, and then eventually it gets to be a thing where you run around the room and you high five everybody and they're like, what are we high fiving you for? And you're like, I cleaned my room, right? Or whatever it is, getting used to celebrating yourself, because then it feels like, or rather not feels like, it actually is. We're teaching ourselves that when we complete tasks, when we get things done, we are worthy of taking a moment to, like, yay, to rejoice in that space. So doing that for yourself consistently, not only does it help build your confidence, but it also helps you deal with overwhelm and frustration. The next thing is practice noticing and replacing negative self talk with positive self talk. We talk a lot about that in our coaching calls, and being aware that when you have this idea like, oh my God, I messed up, I'm so dumb. No, you're not. You go, oh my goodness, I messed up. What did I learn? Right? And how can I use that next time? Like those kind of things. The sixth one is do fun and creative things regularly, if not daily. I recommend that people make sure that they are being intentional about fun and creativity on a daily basis, because again, it helps root you in the things that you find to be enjoyable. And if you don't know what those things are, it's high time you start figuring it out. So that way you can start doing more of those things. And then when we do things that we enjoy, we feel good. And when we feel good, it increases our confidence. This is also an important one when it comes to feeling overwhelmed. How can you infuse fun into the task that you feel like you have to do? How can I make this more fun? Maybe I put on some music. Maybe I do a dance little thing before and after, right? Maybe I let someone know that I'm doing it and I have them time me. How can I make this more fun so that I can complete this task without feeling like it's the worst thing ever? And instead, I complete this task recognizing it's necessary and allowing myself to enjoy my life, even when I have to do necessary stuff. It's all mindset. And then the bonus was get back to the basics, right? Taking basic care of our bodies makes us feel good from the outside, from the inside out. So eating well, lots of veggies, good healthy foods, getting lots of sleep, drink a lot of water, get moving every day, do some exercise, some dancing. You have no excuse just because it's raining. Take care of your personal hygiene. Basics: brush your teeth, wash your face, take showers, do your laundry, and a spiritual practice, if you have one, which could be as simple as finding ways to connect to the planet, sitting and taking deep breaths, which is also really great for overwhelm, taking walks in nature, looking at all the beautiful trees, following a bird in your yard. Honestly, it's super meditative, and it also helps you relax when you watch animals in their natural habitat. Never bend your head, hold it high, look the world straight in the eye. Helen Keller. This is one of my favorite quotes because, again, she was both blind and deaf. And she says, hold your head high and look the world straight in the eye. Right. And that's that idea of confidence. You deserve to be here. So live accordingly, stand accordingly, move through your life accordingly. All right, and now we're going to move into how to build self-confidence when dealing with others. So the first thing you want to do is remember that what other people think of you is not your business, right? I put here in parentheses, I know who I am. Because when we are doing our affirmations, when we are doing our gratitude work, when we're in that place of taking care of ourselves, we know who we are, and we know that we are always evolving and changing, which means that what that person thinks about me, that's not my business. That has nothing to do with me. And a lot of times we believe that people are judging us because we are judging ourselves. What? I'm just gonna, you heard me right. A lot of times we believe that people are judging us because we have so much judgment for ourselves. And so from that place of judgment, we not only judge other people, but we believe that they are judging us. When we create this mantra that says, what other people think about me is not my business. What other people, not only does it give you this level of freedom, the more you practice it and the more you make it real for yourself, not only does it give you this certain level of freedom, it helps you feel more confident, and you start making decisions that are right and healthy for you, not for the people around you. Oh, if I don't do this, so and so is going to think that I'm being a punk or whatever. What other people think about me is not my business. I'm not doing that because that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't make my spirit feel like any kind of happy. Matter of fact, I think I might end up in jail if I get caught. For real. So we have to start making decisions from that place, remembering that what other people think about me is not my business. And when we do, it continues to build our own self confidence. Another thing that you can practice when dealing with people is practice not taking other people's stuff personal, right? Unless I hear otherwise, that is probably not about me. This became a mantra for me, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, when I would legit say to myself and to other people, unless she tells me that that has to do with me, I'm not taking that personal. Even if someone treats you in a rude way, now we have the right to say, don't talk to me like that, in a very compassionate way. We're going to talk about that in our next group on Communication 101. But in this case, I'm not taking that person being rude offensive. I don't know what happened. One of the things that I decided to start telling myself was, when my daughter was younger, her hamster died, and she went to school, and she's a very high energy, talkative child. And she went to school and she was really quiet. And so she said she didn't want to talk to any of her friends. All she kept thinking about was her hamster. And so at the end of the day, I pick her up from school. The teacher came out and said, can I talk to you for a second? Blah, blah, blah. So I get out my car, and she says, she didn't want to talk to any of her friends. They all thought that she was mad at them. Isn't that what we do? We instantly think it's about me. It must be about me. And she was like, so I just wanted to check in and see if she's okay, because she's never been like this before. And I said, oh, her hamster died last night, and so she's probably really sad. Oh, because isn't this what we do? We automatically assume that the way somebody is or isn't acting is a direct result to who we are. Nope, cut those ties. How those people aren't reacting has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them, right? So we want to try practicing remembering that and not taking other people's stuff personal. Again, when we are able to do that, to continuously check ourselves and to practice that, we become more confident in spaces with other people, which is really powerful. Another thing, you want to surround yourself with loving and supportive people. And then I put here in parentheses books and YouTube, because I know personally when I was growing up, the people around me were not super loving or supportive. So I found my mentors in books. I found my mentors. We didn't have YouTube when I was growing up, but from, PBS documentaries and different specials and different tapes, yo, I'm old. So that's how I found my mentors, and positivity was by connecting to this stuff. So again, if we go back to paying attention to what we listen to, if I move into a space, even today in my family, and everybody's gossiping or everybody's creating drama, I'm out. Listen, I love y'all from a distance. I am out, because I have to decide how I'm going to invest my time and energy, because I will never get it back, and whether or not this is the best place for me to put it. Right? And if you're someone who's learning how to build your confidence, being in a space where people are constantly gossiping, which reinforces judgment, may not be the healthiest situation for you. So just start paying attention to who you're surrounding yourself with. Who are the people that are around you? Because they can help either build and contribute to your confidence, or they could tear it down, right? And sometimes not even directly at you, just the way that they are. And the more time you spend there, it tears you down. So just start paying attention. And then the other thing is spend time with confident people, or listen. Again, nowadays we have YouTube, we have, so much available. We have audiobooks. Listen to people who are confident, talk about how they feel and how they did it, and just let that become the thing that fills you up and inspires you to be more confident, right? And then number 6 is be honest with yourself and others. Sorry, number 5, be honest with yourself and others. When we are practicing being in a place of honesty with ourselves and with other people, we are actually practicing confidence. I mean, shaking knees, sweaty palms, hard swallow. I don't like that. Saying it out loud, being honest, being ready and willing to have people like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? You don't like that? There's nothing wrong with me. I just don't like that. Different people like different things. And then it shuts people up. And it's like, just because you like it doesn't mean I have to like it. Come on. Right? And when we talk like that to people, and we are honest about what we do and do not like, we are honest about what we do and do not want, we are honest about where we feel safe and where we do not feel safe, We are empowering ourselves and continuously reinforcing our own confidence. And again, in the next workshop, we're going to talk about communication 101, and I'm going to give you some actual words and some actual dialogue that is going to help you shape your life, right? So you just want to practice being honest with other people. And first and foremost, you have to be honest with yourself. So if you're in a situation and a group of friends are doing something and you don't want to do it, you're like, no thanks. And they're like, oh, come on. Nah, nah, nah. You're like, knock it off with the peer pressure. Like, we're not 12. Stop. I get to choose for myself. And I'm saying no. And you, like, I often find myself saying, no judgment. It's just not for me. Just like that. And if people start running their mouth, then I'm like, these are not my people. Like, that's it. If you cannot fully accept me saying and speaking my truth, you are not my people. Period. Right? So then thinking about surrounding yourself with loving and supportive people. So they don't have to be exactly like you. They just have to support you. So something just to think about. And I know this stuff is kind of heavy, which is why we divvied it up into 2 workshops. So this is stuff I want you to start thinking about. And then the bonus is decide not to allow what someone else said or did to define you. This is a really tricky one because they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And that is a lie, because words can be very hurtful. But we can also decide when we are practicing affirming ourselves, when we are practicing our mantras continuously, when we are practicing gratitude, when we are taking responsibility to take care of ourselves. I'm going to decide, like, I'm not letting that in. I have a little force field here. I'm not letting that in. You said X, Y, and Z about me or my people or my family or my race or my gender. I'm not taking that in. Matter of fact, I'm going to use this as a moment to educate you. And not everybody, again, I've been doing this a long time. I'm a lot older. Not everybody needs to take it as a moment of education, but we can decide, like, no, I'm not taking that in. Because if we go back to practice not taking what people's, their own stuff personal, that is not even, that's you and your stuff. I'm not taking that. I will not accept that. And one of the things that Marissa Peer has this video, and I'll attach it when I send this as well. And it's 5 things that she says that will help when it comes to dealing with what she calls rejection. But it's anytime somebody says something offensive or hurtful, how you can kind of, no thanks, I'm not taking that on, right? And one of the stories that she tells at the end was a guy goes to give someone a gift. And if the second person refuses to take the gift, then the first person is stuck with it. Same thing here. If someone says or does something that is hurtful or that's meant to kind of rock your self-confidence, you can choose, no thanks, you can keep that gift, I'm not taking it. Now they're stuck with it, right? Because you're choosing to not let it in. And again, keep in mind, this is a process and it takes practice. So don't feel like, oh, I have to do all this right now immediately. Nope. This is by watching this, by listening, we're planting seeds, and then you're just going to start paying attention more and more. And that's the water, the water, the water. And eventually you'll have a blossom, fruit, whatever you have. Look at that, blossoms. When you surround yourself with positive people who are making a difference in the world, you start to believe anything is possible. This is why surrounding yourself with the right kinds of people, the right kinds of music, the right types of influences will not only impact you, but it impacts how you move throughout the world. It impacts how you move in all the different areas of your life, right? And then it impacts how you are at home, how you are at school, how you are at work, how you are in your relationships. And it continuously helps you become healthier and more, and we're all whole, but I'm thinking in terms of, a lot of people will say things like, oh, they're broken. They're not broken, they're hurting. That's a very different thing. So it helps you bring you closer to being healthier and more healing when you're building up your own self-confidence and then moving through your life in that very honest way, right? All right, here are the top tools for building self-confidence. Practice gratitude for yourself in your life. We talked about this. We always talk about this. We do this every coaching call because it is so important. And I don't just talk about it because I think that it's cute. I talk about it because it literally changed my life when I practiced it continuously. And I do this every single day. And it keeps me in a sane, healthy, organized, happy place, which we all deserve. You deserve all of those things. The next thing is practicing your affirmations. Those are your I am statements. I am amazing. I am capable. I am resilient. I am intelligent. I'm creative. I'm solution oriented, right? I am a problem solver. Keeping yourself in those spaces where you're saying those things to yourself over and over and over help build up your self-confidence. Mantras are the power statements that what other people think about me is not my business. That's a mantra, right? An affirmation is an I am statement, and a mantra is a saying that we use to help root us, to help ground, to help keep us centered and sane. And it says in power pose, and power pose is when you stand with your feet shoulder width apart and your hands on your hips like that, right? Like in a superhero almost type position. And when we do that, I lost myself in the light here. There we go. And when we do this power pose position, it tells our brain that we get to take up space, and then it releases more dopamine and serotonin, which are happy hormones, and then you start to feel better. True story. It's scientifically proven. Standing like this, saying affirmations and mantras and positive statements for at least 2 minutes changes the hormones that are happening in your body, which then makes you feel better, which then makes you feel more confident, which then makes you make better, healthier decisions, and so on and so forth, right? It's so amazing. The Marissa Peer 5 things, you want to learn the words and the statements, and I'll send that link as well. It's about 4 or 5 minutes, the video, I think. And you want to ask yourself over and over again, how would a confident person respond? And then do it. Do whatever it is that you think a confident person will do. Some people call this fake it till you make it, but I believe that even when you're faking it, you're doing it, which means it's not fake, because even if you're doing it for a short amount of time, you're still doing it again. So it's not fake, it's very real. The dancer's walk is one of my favorite things. The dancer's walk is when I grew up and I was taking dance when I was younger. The teacher would have us stand on one side of the room and stand up nice and tall, shoulders down, head high, walk across the room. And we had a tendency to curl in and bring our head down and to kind of make ourselves small. And she would go, nope, start over, and have us stand up tall, back straight, shoulders down, head up, back straight, shoulders down, head up. Moving through spaces like that, even walking around your house. I'm not even kidding. You're walking from your bedroom to the bathroom, from the living room to the kitchen. Start checking in with your posture, because again, when you stand like that, your body's like, oh, we get to take up space. And then the brain starts doing its thing. Dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, happy hormones start flooding your body. The dancer's walk, right? It's a really easy tool that you can use anywhere to just create a space of self-confidence within and around yourself. Do the scary. So do the scary is about doing those little scary things that you really want to do, but they kind of freak you out a little bit. So if doing the scary means I really want to apply for this job, but it kind of freaks me out because I don't know what to expect, apply for the job, right? I really want to sign up for a 5K with my friends because I want to see what it's going to be like to do a 5K, and I want to challenge myself, but I don't want to, it feels scary. Sign up for the 5K. So you want to do the scary that is healthy, not the scary that is unhealthy, crazy, and or dangerous in regards to risking your life and your safety, right? You're wise, be aware, pay attention, and then make your choices. The sandwich technique, I'm actually going to save for the communication 101, because again, I want to keep this video short. And then the last thing here is to keep getting to know yourself. One of the key ways to build self-confidence is, again, to keep getting to know yourself so that you can be honest with yourself and other people, so that you can say, what you think about me is not my business, so that you can affirm yourself and say, I actually am very creative. When people actually take the time to get to know themselves, they go, wow, I am amazing. That is the truth, right? But we spend so much time watching other people live their lives that we don't carve out intentional time to pay attention to who we are and what we like and what we're about. And that's really necessary, because otherwise we lose ourselves in trying to be something that we're not supposed to be, or in comparison to other people. Gross! And it doesn't build self-confidence. Confidence is something you create within yourself by believing in who you are. It's fabulous. All right, now it's a lot, I know. So I want you to pick one thing that stood out for you, and that's the one thing you're going to practice. It can't work unless you work it. So let's go back for a second. Oops. Let's go back. You have these couple of things, and you have the slides now, the video, so you can scroll through, and you have these things. You could just say the dancer's walk. Yep, I want to practice walking around like that. That's going to be your one thing, right? And then it says any questions, because if we were doing this live, I would say, anybody have any questions? And then I want you to do the self-confidence scale. Again, we would be doing if we were doing this live. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So you have to use it, right? And then here's the key: practice, 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 practice. And then breathe it, live it, be it. Practice, 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 whatever the one thing is that you choose. Practice, 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 practice. Oh my gosh, I got lost again. Where's the light? Where's the light? Where's the light? Where? I don't know. Anyways, and then eventually second nature becomes first nature, and then your first nature becomes your true nature, because like we talked about in the last video, when baby's born, they're super confident. They have to be to want to get up and walk around and act like they own the world, right? They cry when they need something. They ask for what they need. So I want you to just think about practicing so that you can return to your true nature of confidence. So thank you so much again for your time, for your energy. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate you being, boom, right there. There you go. I appreciate you all being willing to do this work, because these workshops are a really important part of this program. And if we were in schools, we would have the opportunity to get together and do them. We're not. So we're doing it this way instead. And I just appreciate you taking out the time. Please be sure to watch the second video, the Marissa Peer video. Consider it a part of this video. Do it all at once and answer the questions, okay? Thank you so much. If you have any questions or any other comments, you know how to reach me, and I will talk to you soon. Back straight, shoulders down, head up. That's how we move into the world. Bye.